Okay, those parameters will be slightly important for the markets. That's 64.09. So the dollar is expensive by 5 pice. We closed at 64.04. Not much by way of indication. Okay, it's flattened out yet again. Now let's welcome our guests. First, Siddarth Bhamre of Angel Broking has joined in, as we told you. Siddarth, what's the call on the Nifty today? Is it a long play, a short play?
Good morning, Lata. Well, we haven't yet initiated Nifty trade and certainly not going long or short at this point of time. But I can just give you an idea that what is happening on the data front. For the rollover front, rollovers were larger or higher than last month because the base effect of last month was very low. And if you look at the options data, we are seeing that probably this market may try to touch next resistance zone of 8750, 8800. And on the lower side, I think rather than talking about 8000, I think 8200, 8150, that should be the base now. So range, market remains in a range. The range has shifted higher. If you go towards 8700 then and data doesn't change much, then probably shorting. And if you're moving towards 8250, 83, then probably long for a positional trader. For the day, I am not very optimistic, even if there is a rate cut. If you look at historical data of rate cut or any change in interest rates, Lata, the sensitivity of market towards the change in rate is generally when the trend of interest rate is reversing and not within the trend. So already 3 times you have seen the rate cut. Most of the people are talking about the rate cut. It may happen, 25 basis point, but I am not expecting because of that a runaway rally happening in market or even in banking sector, as a matter of fact.
All right, Siddarth, just stay with us. We need to observe a few stocks that are reacting on the back of news. From the frontliners, it's Hero MotoCorp that is now seeing a 4% rally post a good margin performance from the company. We'll get more details at 11 a.m. later this morning when the company has a conference call. But Hero MotoCorp is the stock that I'm looking at. From the broader markets as well, you have a lot of stocks reacting to good numbers. So names like India Bulls Real Estate, Neel Kamal, BGR Energy, etc. are all doing quite well. But those charts in a bit. Siddarth, it's interesting, you have a sell call on SBI. Are you not convinced with the run that we've seen? You think it could just be a dead cat bounce?
I wouldn't call it as a dead cat bounce because we have not corrected so much in SBI. Generally, a dead cat bounce is referred when stock is almost near to zero. What we have observed, the entire bounce back in SBI is because of short covering. We haven't seen any formation of long position, unlike ICICI Bank, where you had seen on the result there was addition of open interest, which is an indication that some people have gone long also, though even that stock has resistance around 315, 320, and I'm not expecting even ICICI Bank to go above those levels. SBI, like Union Bank and some of the other PSU banks, has gone up mainly because of short covering. People are talking that delivery based volumes are high. Mind you, those delivery based volumes are high because there were some people who were stuck in these stocks, 10%, 5%, 10% lower from current levels, and they are selling because their costs have come. That's the reason delivery based volumes are high, and not that institutions are lapping up on PSU banks. So that's an important fact. I am not expecting SBI to move continuously above current levels. If there is a rate cut, there is a small bounce of 1.5-2% that may happen in a range of 295 to 285 to 290. I would suggest to go short in SBI with a target and stop loss mentioned on your screen.
All right. What's the other level on HDFC Bank? You have a sell there as well.
Here, the stock, if you see, last 1 month has been consolidating in a very narrow range of 1080, 90 on the lower side, and on the higher side around 1120, 1130. Before the expiry of July series, we saw good addition of open interest in this counter. That is on Tuesday and Wednesday, if I'm not wrong. And on face of it, it may look like long positions have been formed. But if you look at the stock price movement, it is closing down despite good rally happening in private sector names like ICICI Bank and even PSU name. This stock has not done well in last 2 trading session. I am expecting that this narrow range for a short term would breach on the lower side. Mind you, I am not expecting very big downside in HDFC Bank, but it will come down to probably 1050 odd levels. So small stop loss around 1124, and you can trade with negative bias.
Okay, the other stock that you've picked up for us this morning is Shriram Transport. You have a buy there?
Yeah, so this is the stock where we have seen, a lot of buying happening, and we initiated at that point of time also around 800. We had initiated long call in this. Now again we are seeing that after some correction, some consolidation, we are seeing formation of long position, and even if technically if you see this good rise in volumes, the indicators are also suggesting that it is quite possible that stock may move about 89 EMA. So I would suggest to go long in this counter. We are having target price of around 999, and you can fix stop loss somewhere around 868 and go long.
All right. Thanks a lot, Siddarth, for all those stock-wise strategies. The bonds have opened a little bit higher, about 5-6 pice higher. The yield is down by 1 basis point.